Okay, awesome. So C1000, I'm anticipating a sell, so I've got one position for now, and it's mainly price giving us a reaction in this zone here. So what I'm looking for this to be a high probability sell is for price to break below this order block and close below. Then I'm going to add sell positions right there. So I'm also keeping this setup simple. So currently this is the high, a little M pattern there. So my stop loss is just above the day's highs. Then this order block here, I'll be looking for something potentially like this to happen. So if we get it close below the order block or below 59.50, I'm looking forward for a sell, which will probably be about let's see, from 10 to 40 pips at least. That's what I'll be looking for. So based on the runner, it will actually be about 20 pips to 50 pips. But from this distance here, you can calculate 10 to 40 pips. That's when we're going to start scaling up. So that's my view for C1000. C300 is already in motion. They can still come back and retest here and potentially come back here. So this is my TP area. Looking forward for price to get to 41.40 at least. Then from there, we're going to see whether we're going to actually continue pushing down all the way to around 40.10 or 40.20. Okay, so price can still potentially come back to around 42.45, which is around about this area here. 42.45, 42.50. It's also a point of interest for sales. So that's my current view now. But if price does come up in just this, it will be another pattern forming, and price will potentially extend the high before another sell setup forms. C1000, I'm selling this based off this close below the zone here. So potentially this could be a retracement into this area. So C5 is actually it can turn into a high probability setup. So what I want to see now is price sort of coming into this zone here. There's a bit of an imbalance there. We've got the 800 EMA, we've got this minor zone. So if you can get into this area, I'll actually add a position here and add a position here. Stop loss above this zone. So stop loss will be around 32.75. And I'm looking forward for price to drop all the way to yesterday's lows. So we'll just be stalking on this to see if it actually plays out. But that's my current view. We're already active on it. We actually had a tiny spike there. Let me just check M5. Okay, I'm actually going to add another position on C500. Okay, so for now, I would say this is my main setup. B5, I'll talk about it just now. I wanted to talk about B1. B1, I think we had one runner, so let's see. Still feel they might want to push down, but at the same time they can respect this zone here. Let's see, because my initial runner was based on this rejection of this order block, and I was looking forward to scaling just above this zone. So right now it looks like this is now the new zone, and price can potentially continue pushing down. So if you're active on B1, I think let's close that runner for now. Okay, B1, we're going to wait for it. So for now, it's still loading. They can potentially just tap into yesterday's lows and still come up. So this will be our new zone. But again, I still want to see price coming above 13,950 before I buy. So if we respect this zone and we come above 13,950, I'm going to take buys here and target this area and this area. That will be my setup. So currently no running positions on B1. Okay, B5, I've got one position. Let me see my exact price, but it's somewhere in there. And I've got a buy limit right here, which is around, let me quickly check. Okay, I've got a position at 45.54. That's the current runner I have at 45.54. Then I've got a buy limit at 45.33, which is somewhere here. 45.33, and my TP will be 45.90, which is right on this moving average, somewhere on this zone here. That's where my TP is. So I've got a runner just in case price decides to push up. I've got a buy limit in case price comes to respect this. But if they do come here and give us like a W pattern, then we are also going to scale in. Yesterday's buy here didn't play out. You can see the pattern was there, but then price continued to extend the lows all the way down. So we didn't have anything much there. So today, hopefully, it's going to play out. We'll just see what happens. The worst case scenario would be price coming down to tap onto 45.15. 45.15. So we'll just be seeing if price starts coming all the way down, we can manage the first runner, then we wait for it here. Then stop loss just goes below today's lows. That's my current view for B1, for B500, sorry. So C1000, our runner is in profit. It looks like we are coming to close below the zone. So depending with your trading plan or your trading edge, if you see a setup in motion or looking like it's going to be a high probability, then you can scale in. So you can see here I've scaled in one more position. I'll see how that trade plays out. So on this particular account, I'm active on C1 and C5. Those are my two trades. So if C5 comes and closes, if we get something like this, it will mean price is actually respecting an H1 zone. I'll consider this liquidity having been taken out here and this being a full pattern. So I'll still be looking forward to scaling and looking for more sells here. So C5, if the pattern holds, it will be probably the trade for the day. But again, you can see I've got a minor zone here. Price can still decide to extend today's highs, then come up and form a fresh pattern here. Then they'll still actually drop. So whatever which I'm seeing playing out here can still play out here. So just be watching how price will be moving today. So B1, you can see they just spiked after we closed. Still skeptical about the setup, but at the same time, I still feel like they will push. Let's see. So we want, okay. I need a close above 13,925. So once we come and close above 13.25 here, I'll actually buy again with the same positions which I closed, and I'll look forward for price to come above this zone. If they do come above the zone and show continuation signs, then I might hold. But potentially the trade can pay out roughly 20 to 50 pips. So B1000, let's not go far from it. Let's keep stalking. As long as this low holds, like if today's lows hold and they don't get broken, and if yesterday's lows gets respected here, then we'll definitely be buying B1000. So I think that's all for today from me. Let's see C1. Yeah, so C1, high probability. C5, we're waiting for it. If they can come around 42.50, also from 42.45 to 42.50, that's point of interest for sales. So we can get something like this, and this is my current TP there. So that's it for C3. C1 is not a long-term trade for me for now, because if you look at the daily, it's bullish, and right now they're just respecting the 13 EMA and the minor zone from a smaller time frame. So we don't want to hold much on C 1000. I would say we're only looking for, if they give 10 more pips here, I would say if we get one more spike, we can exit. So if we get also 10 to 20 more pips, we can exit. Because this, for me, looks like it's bullish, and this is just a retracement to the up move. So unless we come below, let's say this last low here. So you can see price is creating from this low, it's higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows. So it's an uptrend. So after this higher high, we're anticipating price to create a higher low. So that higher low can potentially be created right here. Like this, then price will continue pushing up. So we're trading a retracement on C1. But if price breaks and creates something like this, then we will now start looking for sells. So if they break this zone, we're looking for a reaction here. So now this will become a higher high, and we look for a lower high, and we want this low to be broken before we consider this a downtrend. So for now, it's a short-term sell. It's just a scalp. One more spike on this one, and we're out. C500, high probability setup here. High probability setup. I actually want to scale in again, because for me, this is a nice pattern which I'm seeing on H1. We can actually get a good sell today, even breaking yesterday's lows. So once we break this, we'll be looking forward for more sells around about this area. But I'll advise on the Telegram group what I'll be seeing by that time. So yeah, B1 and B5. B5 can actually play out. This zone for me is high probability for this pattern. B1 is the one I'm a bit skeptical with, because I feel they might still want to come and interact with the 800 EMA. So that means the current week's lows might still be broken. Then price will create a pattern here. But at the same time, you can see we've got a baseline bounce here, this particular price action. So that could be a signal that the price doesn't want to come all the way down. And they'll just actually push up. So this is B5. I don't know why I'm saying B1. Let's see. Okay, yeah, this is B5. B5 is bullish. You can see that pattern we're getting. So that's my view. It's this one which I'm doubting, because on the daily, you can see we had that huge bearish candle. So I wouldn't want to put my money on B1 today, but at the same time, I always wanted this price to come and take out these highs over here. So this is also an order block. So if we can get a touch here, price can still push up. That's possible. So it could be a trade. The best trade will probably maybe be on Monday, because we want to see how the daily candle closes. But if the daily candle, again, if it turns green, I'll still be active on B1 for buys. Short term though, because I'm still not sure what they want to do here. So we'll see how that goes. B5, it's a high probability. Those buys should play out. I'm looking forward for price to come all the way up here. Like we said, around 45.90. All right, so that's it for me today. I don't know if there's any questions. V2501S. We had a setup the other day. For today, we can see liquidity has been taken out. I'm just analyzing, but I don't think I'll be active on it. So I'll just give a rundown of what I'm seeing now. So this liquidity has been taken out, right? And price looks like it wants to come down. I'll only be interested in sales if we break this zone. So I'm looking for something like this, then a retracement, then a continuation down. For now, that is. Again, if price let's see, let's just quickly check H4 here. We can see we've got this zone where this red line is. So the reason I don't want to be active on it is because I do not have quite a clear direction. Because at this point, price can respect this current week's highs and actually sell. But again, there's a lot of levels which need to be actually broken before I commit to a sell trade. And at the same time, we can still come above here and actually continue pushing up. So for now, I don't have anything clear. But if a pattern forms during the day, I will advise. So based on this current trend we have intraday, I would say we are in a range here. Price is ranging between this current week's highs and this low here. And this trend is not yet clear whether it's actually an uptrend or not. So I wouldn't want to be active yet until the price is clear. J10, I marked these zones. I'm not sure if it was on the last zone or if it was yesterday, but the zone was just respected and price continued up. So for today, I'm looking for a reaction here just because we have the 800 EMA. Let's quickly check the daily. A reaction there also, we have the 200 EMA. So we could get a retracement into this buy. We've been bullish for like a couple of days, so we could get a sell, but the sell would be short term. So for me to sell J10, what I want to see is, okay, this was my last order block before the peak, right? So what I want to see is price breaking close below, which it has already done. But the thing is, the past few days, we have been strong bullish, so we also don't want to trade against the trend. So I wouldn't want to jump into a sell because price can still potentially continue with that momentum. So for now, the sell, I wouldn't advise on any sells. I would rather lean on buys and see how price reacts with today's highs for a possible continuation up. And I would also wait to see if price can get to this level here. If we can get a pattern here for buys, that's what I'm looking for. So J10 and V2501S, I'm not actively trading these today, or actually over the weekend, I'm not trading these two. I'll just be leaning on C5 mainly and C1 for now. B5 for the buy limits. B1 low probability, but it can play out. C3 can also be a high probability, especially if we respect the order block. So that's all for today. If I've got any other views based on what we already have active, I'll advise. If we hit stop loss, I think we'll be done for the day because weekend is just for saving capital. We don't want to waste our capital over the weekend. So if we hit stop loss on C5 or C1, that will be it for today. We'll see the charts probably tomorrow or on Monday. So I think that's it for me. Let's see C5. C5 is a high probability. Once we scale in back to 3260 there, we're looking to add more positions. So I think that's it for me. I don't know if you've got a question or questions. Yeah, I think C1 is actually giving us the spike we wanted. So we said one more spike and we exit. So I didn't want to hold much into this. Let's see how many pips. So the first position gave us 20 pips. The second position gave us almost 10. So I'll actually take that. Close C1000. So I'll close the positions there. They can still continue dropping, but here I'm just going to go with my rules for this particular setup and close. Then I'll wait for what is the stop loss of B1000. B1000 we already exited. We are not active on B1000 yet. Okay, let me just re-explain it. The reason, my reasoning on B1000 is, you see on the daily gave us such a huge candle. This is a huge bearish engulfing. So I'm feeling they could continue selling. My only reasoning for the buy would be price respecting this order block here. So we need a touch into that red line, right? And we need a solid pattern. If this zone is respected, then price will definitely come and take out these highs. But otherwise, this price is in a sell, it's in a sell pattern or a sell flow. So we don't want to trade against that trend. If we are buying, we need more confirmations. You can see H1 is also still, H4 is bearish. H1 is also bearish. So for us to actually buy, we need to see this price coming and tapping into this red line here. So if price gets to 13,880, it's a point of interest, though it's low probability because of this. So it could just be price continuing down. It will be a low probability trade, and we will potentially be buying a retracement into today's sell momentum. But if price changes like at 2 p.m. ST time or when the current H4 candle closes, I think we have a better view. So let's rather wait for the current H4 candle to close before we decide on what to do with this one. So I'd say if you're in a trade right now, if you're still in a position, just put your stop loss on just below yesterday's lows. Just put your stop loss, let's say on 13,890. But at the same time, you can see this is just like a sell pattern here. There is no confirmation for buys yet. That's the reason we closed the earlier buy. The earlier buy we had, it was here. and we close this somewhere here because I was basing it off this order block here, but you can see the order block has been violated now, so it's invalid. But if you're still in a buy, then just put your stop loss below 13,890. Then we'll only consider buys after we get a strong push up and a retracement. Then we can comfortably buy B1000. So C1 paid. We're still waiting for C5. So for now, C5 is my only high probability setup, which I'm looking at. This also looks like a head and shoulder type pattern, although I still need to see like a strong push down and another retracement for us to add more positions again. Okay, all right. So if I've got any other updates, I'll still send through the Telegram group. I'll just be on and off the charts, just stoking. But for now, C500 is my main setup. But if price comes above this zone, just know it will be another setup forming. So stop loss it has to be around 32.75 at least for this current setup we have. So if we come above 32.75, as much as we might just hit equal highs and drop, I would love to cut loss here, then see if it's another pattern forming. But if once this zone holds and we get a strong push down, we'll look to scale in again. Then we'll potentially look for a retracement and a continuation down, because this looks like a pattern which can potentially push all the way down, because I feel like this is a high resistance zone based on all these moving averages. We also have this level here, so we'll see. But for now, C5 is my trade, my high probability setup. I'll keep stoking and I'll advise if there's any changes on the Telegram group. So thank you so much for joining. I think I'll share this on YouTube as well. So those watching on YouTube a bit later on, if you find this informative, leave a comments. And if there's anything we need to add, just let us know. But we mainly just analyze the assets which I personally trade. So apart from that, enjoy the rest of your weekend. Always remember, weekends are slow and tricky, so don't trade much on the weekends. If there's a setup, usually just go with a few positions or use proper risk. Okay, apart from that, enjoy the rest of your weekend. Good trading.